So I was a runaway from a group home I was placed in for therapy. I ran away from there with another girl, and we ended up in Cedar Rapids. From there, I was walking around a grocery store in Hy-Vee in Cedar Rapids by myself, and a man approached me and offered me a modeling job. I, at the time, had nowhere else to go and was vulnerable and chose to go with him to do that modeling job, which then turned into being trafficked. I was trafficked between Iowa and Illinois, and then during a sting operation at a hotel in Chicago that I was at, I was found by an undercover police officer and brought back to Iowa. From there, I was placed in the state training school in Toledo, and then after completing that program, about 9 or 10 months, I completed the program and was placed with my first foster home with Ruth, my only foster home. My mom's rights weren't terminated yet, and Ruth wanted to give me my forever family, so she waited until I turned 18 and adopted me. So Ruth showed me what stability was, something that I did not have as a child. She also showed me what unconditional love was, no matter what I did, because when I first moved in with her, I wasn't probably the easiest to deal with. I recall not being the best behavior-wise, and she still loved me. Like, there was never a, well, let's send you somewhere else kind of situation. I did get grounded, but it wasn't like, I don't know how to explain it. She just still wrapped her arms around me and said, I love you, you're mine. My journey to faith began when I moved in with my foster mom, Ruth. She introduced me to Jesus and showed me what his love looks like, but I didn't fully give my life to him at that time. It wasn't until later, during a separation in my marriage, that I truly found God. That season was one of the hardest in my life, but it became a turning point. God walked with me through the pain, bringing me healing through him and the church I was attending. Through his grace, Billy and I reconciled and remarried, and it was then that I truly understood how present God had been all along. Looking back, I see how his hand was on my life. Even during my darkest moments, when I was being trafficked, God was protecting me. I believe he sent the undercover agent into my room that day to rescue me so I could step into the purpose he had for my life. Now, through the Lighthouse Foundation, we want to be that beacon of hope and safety for others, just as Ruth and God were for me during my storms. I am living proof that God can take what was meant for harm and turn it into something beautiful to change lives. I did recently write a book. It's called She Survived. So it's a fiction/nonfiction book about my story as a survivor of human trafficking. I am married and I have 2 children. I recently published my book, like I shared, but I also am creating an organization called the Lighthouse Foundation to help survivors of human trafficking and abuse. So a lot of that is driven from what I've been through, and I want to give the same love and support to people just as my adopted family gave to me.